Hey everybody, this is Big Bad Bali. We're here with the Spiritborn. And today I wanted to show you in Season 8 how to use the Jaguar Rake as a basic skill. So we're in the PTR right now. I don't have the best gear, but this gear has gotten me to tier 70 of the pit, and I forgot to even equip a glyph that would have given me another 90% damage. So we should be able to push a little further. So Harmony of Ibaqua. Oops. Ibiwaka. You're using this so that you can get all your skills are Jaguar, Eagle, Gorilla, or Centipede. And then your skills deal 24% increased damage per spirit type they have. Now, if you can get a max roll on it, that'd be even better. I didn't, so I just went with what I got. You're gonna use Pop Q for your runes, and what's gonna happen basically is that for every set of attacks, you're gonna invoke the Bulwark, Earthen Bulwark from the Druid. This is gonna keep your barrier up. This is gonna give you Fortify. So you're going to be able to make yourself extra beefy when you're going in and fighting the enemies. Trial of False Death is a mythic. You basically want to try to get maximum life maxed out when you masterwork this. But basically you're using this so that you can get beefy, and you're going to use the all stats to enhance your Paragon board when you're setting it up so that you can have more points available to give yourself more what's the word I'm looking for here? Give yourself more points into something versus trying to inch your way with all stats on gear. Trying to find all stats on gear. Shroud of False Death is going to give you a ton of it. For the gloves, you're going to use the aspect of Wild Claws. Rake manifests a Spirit Jaguar, which also casts Rake at a random enemy, dealing X amount of base damage. You basically want to get dexterity, max life, and attack speed on your gloves. Main reason being is because Spiritborn has a small HP pool. So the more maximum life you can add in, the better. For our tempers, we took rake size and basic damage. And the reason why you use basic damage is because your core skill is now a basic skill because of your weapon. So all damage from it is basic damage, and it adds up. All right, so for your legs, you want maximum life, armor, and I got the greater affix on basic skills. That's going to help out with your rake damage because it's a basic skill. I took total armor and rake size for my tempers, and for the aspect, I went with duelist aspect. Maximum ferocity increased by 5. All right, Yin's Blessing is probably the best in slot boot because it gives you all stats it gives you movement speed. It also grants you resistance to all elements and resource generation. Now, resource generation isn't really that big of an issue on the Spiritborn, but the resistance to all elements is going to help you get your build closer to being at cap for Torment 4. Rod of Kepaliki. So with this one, you want the greater affix on critical strike damage, chance for core skills to hit twice. The main thing that's important is your aspect. You want it to be at 0.5 because you're going to constantly spend vigor and regain vigor. So the whole time you're spending vigor when you cast in Rake, you're getting additional critical strike damage because of it. For the runes, we went with Zol Ja. And whenever you invoke a skill from another class, is going to replace your evade with teleport. And this is real good for getting around the map, right? But if you also want to get around the map, you can proc Ravager, and then Rake becomes a movement skill. So with the pendant, we went with aspect of redirected force. I didn't get the stats I was looking for, but you want dexterity percentage, attack speed percentage, and total armor percentage. For tempers, we went with total armor and rake size. For the ring, we went with aspect of unyielding hits. For the affixes, you want dexterity, maximum life, attack speed. And then for your tempers, anything on the resource generation will work. You could go with the lucky hit to gain maximum resource. I went with resource generation because I only had one roll left, and that's what I got. But basic damage is key here. And then with Ring of the Midnight Sun, you basically want greater affixes in dexterity, critical damage, and cooldown reduction. For gems, you want to go with resistance to all elements, so diamonds. And then in your chest and pants, you want to go with emeralds for dexterity. For boss powers, we went with Alex Talons because casting a basic skill applies damage, sparking damage, over 4 seconds to enemies it hits. So every time you cast Rake, it's a basic skill. So every time you cast Rake, you apply 390,000 sparking damage over 4 seconds to enemies that are hit. This is going to add more damage because Rake is a fire skill. It does burn damage. So you get that damage over time effect from your burning and from the basic skill of Alex Talons. Then we went with Taurus Rage for attack speed because you gain 5% attack speed increased by 0.25% for each 1% damage of crowd controlled enemies you have, up to a maximum of 20%. My current bonus is 20%. And then Cinderat's Flames for extra damage against an element. And then we were in Daryl's Flaming Skull because burning enemies take 40% more damage from your damage over time effects. For 5 seconds after activating your main boss power, all other attacks burn enemies for 589,000 damage over 3 seconds. So with this build, you're getting a lot of burn and sparking damage over time. Your Rake skill is proccing as a basic, so it's getting all of these boss powers to work with it. And I mean, pretty much it's a blast. You have fun with it. You go in, you attack everything, you move in, you move out. Plus, this build is pretty bulky. I have 2,800 defense right now, but when we go in to attack, I'm going to have over 3,000 armor. Because right here it gives me 15% more armor because of his passive. So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and this. And we're going to do a pit. I'm horrible with editing, so this is just going to be all one long video. I didn't have one of my glyphs equipped, and it cost me, like I said, 90-something% damage. So let's see. Yeah, because right here, I'm now at 3572. Okay, let's do this. So basically, you're going to run through here. Group up elites. And spam your ultimate. There's some more elites. Okay, so as you see, we target the elites. I think with this one, I'm gonna have to clear all enemies. thing about this build is that it doesn't really do enormous God's amount of damage, right? What it does is that it applies a lot of dots, and okay, it applies a lot of dots, and you're able to attack multiple enemies in one go. Go back to the first area and kill some more baddies.